all the way down Golden Grove, Nabakalis, and so forth. Your rally is going to be this Sunday, Melanie Shopping Plaza. And of course, we saw on the Square of the Revolution, you had a massive turnout. You had the large projector screens on the stage and so forth. Being that it's on the East Coast, which should be a smaller cover, what should we expect out there?
Nothing less.
Nothing less.
Nothing
I love that.
less.
I love that. I love that.
Nothing less.
Yeah. Because you know the East Coast corridor traditionally has always been a strong, in fact, Region 4 in general.
Region 4 in general,
right, but particularly the East Coast of the
And thank you for the support again on September 1st.
And we look forward to seeing them on Sunday.
Yes, on Sunday and tomorrow.
Now, I want to ask you this. After September 1, and folks, you can hear the cars as they pass by. They continue to honk their horn as in solidarity, showing support for what is happening out here. And we appreciate that. And again, if you haven't been part of the excitement, if you're coming along the Kingston area and you're headed to the seawall, you look for us right outside of the Umanayana, honk your horn, which will say to us that it's a big thumbs up and you are in full support. We love it. We love it. All right, great. So we have a youngster here. You saw him the other night and you mentioned his name and so forth. And we brought him up on stage just to introduce to the people. But I want to quickly bring him over.
Mr. Sweetwords.
Mr. Sweetwords, as you call him. I'll have you introduce and invite him over.
Oh, well, our viewers, let me introduce to you Mr. Sweetwords, the young Eden Corbin, attorney at law, and my crush.
That's a lot. All right. Eden Corbin.
Good afternoon.
According to Chanel Daniels, the man with the sweet words. So I rather suspect that somewhere yonder, there's a lot of young ladies out there who Eden Corbin been giving some sweet words. Not only the magistrate.
Well,
because
on the campaign trail.
On the campaign trail,
of course.
All right. So Eden, you've made your debut. As a candidate of the APNU, you are an attorney at law.
Well, wait.
We speak in.
Well, good, but we gotta be a little careful with that. You understand? Okay. So the situation is that I have not been admitted to the bar, but I have completed the requirements. So it is a work in progress. But you know, these things run and take a life of their own.
But you see, we like to speak things into existence.
All right,
so we say it to you, my brother.
Yes.
I don't want to do that.
All right.
So you made your debut.
Correct.
At the launch of the APNU elections campaign as a candidate of the APNU. What will not convince you? But why take such a bold step with the APNU?
Well, I mean, Chris, you know better than most that my involvement in the APNU has not started with my candidacy on this list this year, but you know that my involvement, goes way back. I have always been a strong supporter, but as I have indicated before, the reason why now is because I would have been able to put myself in a perfect position to be able to lead forward now, which requires developing capacity, going and getting my qualification, learning the trade, learning the job, getting a good familiarization of the field. And now is the time. There is no better time than now, because now we see a lot of youths out there who are not just afraid, but they're worried about if they jump out and if they say that, look, I support this particular party, or I'm in support of this. To me, it doesn't matter. Well, it matters to me who you support, but I have more respect for the youths who are out there and openly support the party. And that's what it's about. I want all of the youths out there who can hear me to know, if it's your mother, auntie, go and tell them that Eden says that you have to stand for something. And in this political climate, at this important and critical part in our country's development, the only people that can carry us forward is the youth. We see that because the candidacy of a particular presidential hopeful is signaling to that, because he himself is young. So if he can do that, he is indirectly saying to the other youths that if I could do it, you can do it too. So if he could do it, I decided that, you know what, Chris, I'm going to do it too. And that is why we are here, because the youths need to know that you don't have to look for somebody older than you. There are persons just out there, and all they need is that first start. I made an analogy to some of my friends that look at it this way. When you go in a party, Nobody don't want dance. Everybody in the corner,
Right.
you know, everybody
Right.
peeping, but it just take that one brave soul to go in front and dance to the tune. And
Yeah.
myself, my other comrade,
Yeah.
Mr. I always mix Roaldo. I have a friend with a similar name, so I always mix it up. But Roaldo and us, we have come out to show to the other people we brave and we can dance to the tune,
Right.
and we are in the middle of the dance floor awaiting the youths to come in, Chris.
You know, essentially, one can say that yourself, Roaldo, and many other of the new candidates that are part of the APNU are essentially fighting that fight against discrimination, victimization, as we have seen happening in this country with persons who express a view, not necessarily a political view, but a view of something that they don't approve of, and then we saw the backlash that happens to them. They're either terminated from their place of employment, their contract is scrapped, and so forth. Your political movement, the APNU, once elected September 1, what is expected differently from what is currently obtained?
Well, firstly, let me say, Chris, you can see I have on my black shirt.
Yeah.
My green shirt is in the car, but I'm not just wearing this black by coincidence, because today some people say there's a rally, but to me it's a funeral. So I wear this in solidarity with those out there, because they're dead already, you understand?
Yeah.
And we are celebrating the funeral of the other side.
Yeah.
We are out here because enough of the victimization has to happen. We live in a climate that is multicultural.
Yes.
And if the Hindu man and the Christian man and the Islam man could have a church, a mosque, and a temple all on the same street, why can we not have different political views and beliefs? I mean, I wouldn't consider to be the smartest out of the bunch, but I know that the same constitution that they like to so quote from provides for you to have your political freedom, provides for you to associate with whatever group you have to do. And that is what I'm saying, Chris. I cannot overemphasize. My candidacy is basically a signal. It is a big signal to all of the youths out there who are afraid to know, look, you don't have to be afraid anymore. You take the step, because you know what? There are other like-minded youths waiting for you. And myself and my other comrades, we have come out and we have danced into the tune, and we're just waiting for you to join us, because the victimization does nothing for us but for the people at the top who are benefiting from it. And we have to do something. They always say you have to be the change you want to be. So, you know, I am grateful to our comrade leader, Mr. Aubrey Compton Norton, the executive of the party, with members like yourself who've always given me the opportunity and given me the platform, and for trusting me at this particular stage to be able to carry us to the next stage. And I am more than hopeful. I am convinced. I talk to people every day, Chris. People are reaching out to me. They're messaging me. Who's not messaging me? They're calling people that know me or whatever. And the message is clear that, you know what? We are a little afraid, but we're going to support you. And I want to tell them there's no need to be afraid anymore, because the reason for which you're afraid is soon exiting. You understand? They say it is a rally. I say it is their goodbye, because it will be the last of something like that to happen. It is time for Guyana to change. It is time for us to move forward. We need to put our faith, we need to put our trust in a party, in persons who are not just interested with lining their own pockets, who are not just interested in dealing with their own friends. A man has an egg ball stand tomorrow, and tomorrow he owns a multi-million-dollar egg ball company. Make it make sense, Chris. You understand? We are tired of seeing just particular faces and figures just skyrocketing fame. You understand? While the average man on the street is struggling. The average man on the street could barely make ends meet. You have persons, you have the single mother living from paycheck to pay. Matter of fact, she doesn't even get paid because she doesn't even trust to put her money in the bank, because the bank is not going to give her a loan. You have those single mother. You have the young professional just came out of UG. Oh, great, we have free education. But where are the jobs for all of the educated persons? Because what point is it if we're giving people free education and then they are heading into an even more convoluted job market where you can't even get a job? Your job is not based on your CV, it's based on your links. And then I don't know that you're it as attached links to your CV. I
Right,
thought it was your qualifications, and it is based on what you bring to the table. And youths are becoming disheartened. That is why you're seeing they're running for these handouts. That is why you're seeing they have to be forced. I don't know, how could you support a party and you can't even take off your own jersey? You got to throw your jersey. It sounds like somebody is forcing you to put on that jersey, but you know what, Chris? Enough is enough. And the Guyanese people need to know that we have seen the worst of what is to come. We have experienced, so I won't even go and get into details. You know, and the Guyanese people know, because they're not fools, Chris. They're not idiots. We have seen the worst of what this government has to offer. And if we allow them to continue past this point, you know what we are doing? We are saying we agree with you. We agree with the fact that Adriana Young's death and her murder is still unsolved. We are agreeing to extrajudicial killings. We are agreeing with mass corruption and nepotism at not just the highest level, but it is rampant. And you know what? It's not time for a change. We need to throw away the system and get a new one. Chris.
New faces, new faces. I love I love it. Last thing to you. So earlier I got a text message from a friend of mine who resides in Berbice. And of course he and a crew of them are part of the 10-day workers. So they had received messages that they are mandated to come to Georgetown to be part of the rally that is happening in Kitty. And the only reason they're doing it, because if they don't turn up and present themselves for the names to be checked off, they will lose their income. For persons like those, including youngsters who have gotten contract, whether it's the clean gutter or whatever the case be, but they've gotten contract, but their contracts have been threatened that if they don't show up at the rally, they will lose those contracts. Their fear too is it going to be something different when your party takes government, that they're going to lose these contracts because they got those contracts under the previous government, which would be the PPP? Will that happen, or is there security in their tent?
Well, I mean, you see, the issue of awarded of contracts, as far as I'm aware, is an issue that is done at the ministry level. You understand? And once everything has been signed off and they are in compliance with all of the rules and all of the regulations in relation to the award of contracts, there should be no problem. But I just want to let the youths know that you do not build a life or a livelihood off of one contract. You build a life and a livelihood off of skills, off of the ability, off of competency. And one single contract being provided to do something does not change your life. You understand? Unless you get contracted with Bill Gates and those people. You understand me? But one contract cannot change it. You have to invest. And if you are so good in what you do, you don't need to get one contract. You will start up a business. You will start up an enterprise. And people will invest, because you know what, the Guyanese people want to spend their money, but you know what they're worried about? That if I spend my money today, I don't know if I get it tomorrow. And that's why we see all of them running behind the hype and all of these things, because they want to, they just want a fair share. But let me tell them, you don't have to worry about the contracts, because with the APNU government, it is not going to be about contract. It is going to be an equitable distribution of the Guyana's wealth. Everybody will get a piece. Everybody will get their fair share. You qualify yourself, even better for yourself. You set up yourself, even better for yourself. But it will not be a little small circle of people sending out crumbs while they hold the bread to themselves. The last time I checked, Guyanese are not ants, so we cannot survive off of crumbs. You understand? We need to get our loaf. And with the APNU, we will be sending out the loaves to the people, because it is the people who have brought us to where we are. It is the people who have invested. It is the people who stand to benefit the best. So why can't we empower those people, Chris?
This man is ready for a platform. So Chanel, please get a platform. Eden is ready. Thank you very much, Eden Corbin. Best of luck, my brother. And of course, I continue to watch you grow. Eden Corbin, a candidate of the APNU, and of course, Eden is gonna be.
I'm gonna.
So we're gonna go ahead and invite the next guest. So while we get the other guests up, and of course, as Eden rightfully mentioned, and the presidential candidate of the APNU has mentioned, that is Mr. Aubrey Norton, that those 10-day workers, you will have dignity in your job. Under his administration, you don't have to be mandated or be told that unless you turn up at a political event or wear a political t-shirt that you wouldn't get paid. Your jobs will be continued, and of course there will be dignity in your work permit. We have a youngster, maybe strange face to some, but not strange to many of us. This is Mr. Philip Drayton. Now, another candidate of the APNU, and of course Philip Drayton has a particular role and function in this whole campaign. I'll get to that in a short bit, but Philip, tell us about your role, your role. Tell me about the elections hype and what you've witnessed across this country, because you've been out and about on the ground.
Man, good afternoon to the listening and viewing audience. It is amazing to be a part of this process. We've been to substantial amount of regions. We've been doing the work on the ground since 2021. We've been doing interventions on the ground, and to actually have that grassroots politics being implemented is something that is amazing. Listening to the people, and we are ready to do what is necessary. We are ready to take back this country. We're ready to implement a people-centered development strategy that is not just going to change, but to transform the lives of members of society.
Excellent. Now, the campaign's mantra is putting people first, essentially using the resources to put to the people of Guyana. You mentioned the people, the development strategy. Just anything, any item out of that strategy that you particularly in love with, or you particularly like, any one of those strategies.
But what I can say as a former national athlete,
okay,
you know, oh yes, of course.
The legs are good. The camera down on the legs. I don't just
still good. We're still good. But as a former national athlete, I can identify with our national ambassadors presently. I mean, of course, it is very difficult when a national ambassador will actually have to actually send out sponsorship letters to ensure that finances is being allocated to actually go and represent this wonderful and beautiful nation. I think that should be something of the past. And with the people-centered development strategy, of course, run by Aubrey Compton Norton, I think we'll have a huge transformation in the sports sector. What I know for sure, what I can say for sure, Chris, is that athletes will no longer have to deal with the excessive access of going and look for sponsorship anywhere. Most importantly, we'll have insurance for our national athletes. One thing I want to touch on too as well is that persons don't recognize the amount of time that it has to be allocated for someone to train every single day to ensure they've attained to that ambassador level to actually represent this country. So to actually embrace a people-centered development strategy that is going to transform our national ambassador is something that I'm in love with. $400,000 tax-free threshold is something that we gravitate into as the youths within society. And most importantly, the rent-to-own aspect is something that almost every region that we go to, persons with elevators, that this is something that is going to transform their life. So that is what we're in love with.
Excellent. All right, I love that very much. So we have, all right, so we just started Philip Drayton, and of course we want to invite another candidate, but I'll have you invite this youngster to the mic.
Well, this is definitely Mr. Roaldo. Make no sense, he is actually a young politician in the making. He made his debut. Is his debut on our last rally that was on the 6th of July. Very inspirational, very motivated young man too as well, and of course is someone that we should look out for on various platforms, but most importantly taking up leadership role in society to actually ensure that members of society can benefit. Over to Roaldo.
All right, so folks, we have Roaldo, another young candidate of the APNU. Now, let me just share this with you. I would have known Roaldo for a number of years, particularly during the 2020 elections. And of course, at that time, we've been out and about in Region 5, the Mahaica-Berbice region, campaigning. And Roaldo, we looked at a very young person. Roaldo came about into this election campaign. And Roaldo said to me, he said, you know, Chris, back in 2020, it was small. And already now, and we saw you on the platform. What encouraged you to make that bold step?
Well, Chris, first of all, good afternoon to the viewers. What made me come to the APNU coalition, I must say, in 2025. Chris, it's the vision, it's the plans that our leader has for this country. Transformational plans to take Guyana forward and to make, you know, the lives of Guyanese better overall. Correct.
Now, I asked you about stage fright and so forth. Now, when you made your presentation, I mean, the comments are still there. when you made your maiden presentation on the square of the revolution. Now, as a person who's been part of the politics for a number of years, I've always been fearful of speaking at the square of the revolution. But you went up there without even making reference to the paper that you had. You just essentially spoke off the cuff.
Yes. Chris, when I got on that stage at the launch, I saw the crowd and I said, this is much bigger than one person.
Yeah.
And I felt the need to deliver.
Correct.
To deliver for all of Guyana.
Yeah.
To deliver for my brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
To let them be informed what is happening in this country.
Yeah.
To let them be informed that a new day is coming. To let them be informed that Guyana will be transformed under an APNU-led administration.
Correct. Now, your family would have experienced discrimination by the current administration. We could attest to the fact. What would you say to those folks out there who may have that fear that should your party form the next government, that you will discriminate against them?
Chris, within the APNU coalition, that is no way in any shape or form a part of our plans to discriminate and to sideline the Guyanese people who may or may not be affiliated with another political movement.
Right.
Our main goal as a coalition is to take the entirety of Guyana forward, leaving no one behind. Guyana and its resources is for all of us. And I think that under an APNU administration, that is exactly what will happen.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And then, of course, we ask person to judge us based on our performance in office in 2015. We had a lot of persons even this day still make the point to us that, listen, when you got in office, you kept everybody on the payroll. You didn't dismiss anybody, and they credit those people who remain as the ones who essentially sabotage the coalition movement from within.
Correct.
From that experience, but yet still you're saying that when elected September 1, the APNU will continue to provide that opportunity for every single Guyanese. Go ahead.
I'm confident about that. I am extremely confident about that. We are not a party that that victimization is a part of our agenda. That is absolutely not a part of our agenda. Our agenda is to take Guyana forward with all Guyanese moving forward.
Excellent. All right, I'm pretty sure like Eden, your friends would have been inboxing you and so forth. What are some of those comments that you would have received?
Because some may agree with me, some may disagree, but the good thing and the very good thing about our generation as youths, regardless of our political affiliation, from my personal experience, regardless of my political affiliation, my friends and my peers, some are supportive. Those who are not supportive are not discriminating either. And that is the way I think, Guyana should be. Excellent. All right. So we had Roaldo Beerbal, one of the young upcoming candidates of the APNU, and of course you will see lots more of him as we commence the public meetings in the various communities, and of course the rallies that are going to come subsequently as well. Just a quick reminder, tomorrow is nomination day, and of course we ask all and sundry to assemble at the corner of Main and Lamaha Street at 8 o'clock. If you have your t-shirt, come with those. If you don't, come and ask for a young lady named Chanel Daniels, and those t-shirts will be provided to you. The procession is going to come down Main Street. So the woman, Yana, tell Chanel Daniels that Chris sent you, and they're going to come here where our candidates, our presidential and prime ministerial candidates, will present the list of the APNU candidates. And of course, on Sunday coming, that is Sunday the 20th, all roads lead to the east coast of the Marara, where we will have the East Coast Rally, and that rally is going to be held in the village of Melanie, and it commences from 4 p.m. in the afternoon. And of course, some of those new candidates who have not spoken yet will grace the stage there in Melanie on Sunday. The flagging exercise has started across the country, and look forward, the flags are going to be coming in your community. We continue to ask you to stay strong, stay vigilant. The APNU is presenting a people-centered development strategy.
Come out tomorrow.
The APNU is about putting people first. Come out tomorrow, show your numbers, wave your flags, and be part of the green movement. On behalf of my colleague Sharon Duncan, from all of us out here at the Umanayana, we bid you a pleasant good evening, and until tomorrow for another APNU elections campaign update. Goodbye for now.
Yeah, my name is Jacinti Kaldata, Francis Vietnam, and Since 1965, I become a voter. And I always place my ex next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more. Can't take it no more. Imagine 18 hours of blackout and you're telling people progress. Cost of living gone up 100%, yet you give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people. Search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public base, then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up.
There and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
Su? Oh, Su?
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.
Persons can do so peacefully, and they can, but blocking the road for hours is something that affects
Mr. Ali, I saw you blocking road. Yes, Mr. Ali.
I'm just telling you.
Mr. Ali, there are videos with you protesting, you being a scrape and a tug. Mr. Ali, this is not, listen, sometimes we gotta put our position aside.
No, this is not position.
No, we gotta put our position aside and place ourselves into people's shoes. You gotta.
So it's in the rice price?
The rice price, something to do with it. We voted red. We voted red. We voted red. Everybody say loud, we voted for the couple. We voted President Ali for progress on his stomach. A victory for PPPC is a victory for everybody. I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more. Can't take it no more. Imagine 18 hours of blackout and you're telling people progress. Cost of living gone up 100%, yet you give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people. Search your soul and you will confess.